In this video, I'm going to tell you how two working entrepreneur parents were able to pull something off pretty massive in less than 90 days. Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Rich Cardona. So I'm actually going to plug in a clip here or a video of my podcast, okay? This is my podcast that I have, and then I have another podcast called NFTs for Newbies, and we hit a real huge milestone. So my co-host Heather Parady and I made a podcast about it and some of our takeaways from some of this early success. And even since we recorded that, things have been taking off even more, getting offers and talking to some big name brands that have approached us. I just wanted to share with you these takeaways in case, when it comes to personal branding or marketing for you or your business or your podcast or your social media channel, whatever it is, that you actually have something tangible to take away. These things are going to come into play as you are branding yourself and maybe walking away from, that job or that uncomfortable situation that you've been in too long. So check it out and let me know what you think in the comments for sure. And if you have any questions whatsoever about podcasting, hit me up. This episode is especially important and I wanted to do it as it happened, but I couldn't because Heather and I were in the middle of a business meeting. And what the hell am I talking about? It's the fact that we hit 50,000 downloads in 84 days on our podcast NFTs for Newbies. So Heather and I were having a business meeting because this is a business now, but bam, check this out. 50 freaking K. So thank you all so damn much. Oh my Lord. All right, we're gonna have to go live later. Okay. All right, thanks everyone. I think there's a really important entrepreneurial lesson here, and it's really worth being discussed. The first thing is this: organic visibility is not dead. We haven't put a fucking dollar behind this, like nothing. This started because Heather and I met in person for the first time. We've known each other, but we met. We were talking about NFTs. We knew about Gary Vee. We had V friends. We're like, let's just do this because we don't know enough and we don't want to feel left out. We did it for ourselves and we just committed to 24 episodes, I think it was, or I think we rounded it up to 25. And we're like, okay, but we didn't do anything. I mean, I wasn't even making video clips really. We were just on Twitter, just kind of fucking around, and that's it. And all of a sudden, here we are. So point number one is organic traffic is not dead. And I shit on organic traffic a lot. Actually, I'm in a paid situation right now with other stuff, but it is alive and well. And the other thing, Heather, I wanted you to cover is you and I both have been podcasting for a while and we've never seen these types of things. But what does it mean when this comes along, and would it have come along had we not been persistent in our other journeys?
That's just it. And there's this part of me that's incredibly grateful and also extremely frustrated because you and I we grind hundreds and hundreds of episodes, and I don't know, there's been so many points where I'm like, what am I doing? Am I ever going to see any kind of results that I'm really proud of? Is there something wrong with me? Is there something off with my message? What is it? And you just hear this thing of consistency. It is a niche thing, a timing thing, and a willingness to adjust and pivot. And I think my understanding of consistency has been shifting over the past few months, that it's not that you're consistently pounding at the same thing if it's not working. Yes. It's that you're consistently showing up and not quitting in the midst of the pivots and the adjustments and as you go. And so it's been crazy what's happened, Rich. And what's the weirdest thing about it too is I feel more unqualified to do what we're doing than anything else, and it's the thing that's taking off.
Absolutely. So consistency would be point number 2. Number 3, I would think, is take action. And I'm just going to be transparent here. Like Heather and I were doing this and I was like, Heather, I'm so busy. I got all this shit going on and blah, blah, blah. And she's just like, okay. And she's like, this is a real opportunity here. And she called me out and led to this crazy back and forth text. And I was like, fuck it. My number was called and I'm like, fuck it. This is what I'm about. My past is about showing up, right? So here we are. And all of a sudden, my eyes were wide open and I'm like, she saw it. She really saw it. I saw it, but I didn't treat it the way it should have been treated. So point number 3 would be to just take action. And I mean, sometimes it feels like it's blind action. And I'm telling you guys, it feels completely disorienting. I'm a pilot. It's like vertigo for real. You're just like, what should I do? What should we be doing? How should we approach this? Do we need to change anything up? Who should we reach out to? Is this a business? Should we get a sponsor? It doesn't fucking matter all the millions of questions that you have. You just literally have to do it. And Heather, like, yeah, we're at 55, and Heather, I mean, she believes, and I agree with her, that we'll probably hit 100,000 before the end of the year.
We will hit 100,000 by the end
But
of the
Heather,
year.
what are the chances this could fall off a cliff?
100%. But I think the lessons that I've learned from this I'd be devastated if this fell off a cliff. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I'll just be grateful for this opportunity. I'd probably cry and eat like a bag of Cheetos. I'd be devastated.
Wait a second. Just for the record.
Okay, the puffy one's not the crunchy one. No.
Crunchy Cheetos.
Oh my God. The lessons I've taken from this is just incredible. The whole timing niche thing is so annoying to me, but it's so freaking true. And here's another thing that Rich and I have been really intentional with over the past couple of days in our conversations, because I feel like, and I think you can attest to this, when something starts taking off, it feels like it's a car and you're on a rope and it's dragging you and you're trying to get your feet up to catch up to the car, and you're trying to keep up with the momentum. And there's been some opportunities come up for us where we've had to make pretty quick decisions without a lot of plan or thought, and we've been leaning into go all in and jump while the opportunity's hot, even though we don't fully feel caught up, which is really hard for type A people like Rich and I, because we like plans and structure and processes and all that. But when something hits, it's time to run. But are you ready to run when the opportunity's given to you? And that's where that experience and expertise comes in, because you and I are ready. We have put in the work, we've given our time, we know this world, and now that the door's knocking, it's a lot easier for you and I to just go.
Yep. I've been thinking about this more than anything. I'm really, really big on routine, processes, systems, like things that are repeatable, scalable, and all these other things. Well, this is not that, not yet, at least. Like, and I mean, at some point, like, some things will have to kind of fall in their, respective buckets, so that way we continue. But this is text messages all the fucking weekend. This is text messages at 9:00 last night. Like, how much are we paying the editor for the YouTube channel? This is collaborations. This is strategic partnerships. This is not, from the outside looking in, anything that anyone would think has legs, but it absolutely does. And we are going for it. And I think that's just something you also need to understand. Like, I'm working on some shit for ClickFunnels. I'm being super meticulous and granular about it, and it absolutely could do nothing. And I will still laugh, because here we are, Heather and I, just kind of texting back and forth and trying to figure this out. And I mean, Heather is like, we need to step up to 2 episodes per week, which was like, holy shit.
You're about to have
everything.
A heart attack when I said that.
I was, and that changed everything, but it was the right call. So run into the fire. Consistency is not what you might think it is. It does not mean doing the same thing over and over and, like, relying on your work ethic. It means having different variables in your skill set that'll help you when the opportunity is ready. And then obviously the other thing is kind of recognizing opportunity. It's just like literally looking at what's open there and being like, okay, what can come of this? And do I need to think about what everyone else is doing, or do I need to think about what I can do?
I think I just want to encourage anyone who's in this space of, is any of this stuff I'm doing working? Because my one of my coaches always says that in times of stress, you fall back on your experience. And so when you are in this whirlwind situation, I'm so grateful now for the years of like heartache that has been able to build up the muscle within me to kind of have some of these, broader perspectives and understanding and trust and all that. You're building a muscle. And I know that's not necessarily the easiest thing to hear when you're in it. I mean, this could all go away tomorrow, Rich. I know that. But I'm so grateful that you spent your time building your muscle, and me too, so we can carry some of this weight. Because otherwise, I'm not sure if we would be able to take advantage the way that we are right now.
Yep. And sorry, this is actually a huge
No,
point.
this is the last thing.
You know me. I always say last thing. I'm always full of shit when I say that. I'm going to do it because I have to respect your time. I'm not looking to be in a business partnership with everyone. I love the way I fucking do my thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, but now I'm like, oh God, there's things that Heather says that I'm like, oh, I never thought of it like that. Or, oh, this would be good. I think she'll vibe with that. And I'm eating my words on that. And I never said never, but it just never was appealing to me to be like, I want to split some shit. I'm like all about, I want it to be mine. Well, you know what? Andy Frisella has a business partner. You never see that guy. Gary Vee has business partners. Like, don't just think that you have to go on this ride alone. And no matter what, I would say keep an open mind to it. But, and I think Heather and I agree on this big time is if in some capacity it starts to affect a friendship, then you guys need to have that conversation. Be open to business partnerships. I'm literally the guy who's like, no way, I'm doing this my way, like blah, blah, blah. And like, here we are. I'm like so thankful. I'm like, dude, this is going to be special.
Well, same, because I have so many weaknesses, and I've told you many times, I'm like, thank God you are the way that you are and you have these strengths, because I'm learning a lot from you of like, okay, this is what it looks like to just run into a wall and like push it down, you know what I mean? And so it's a great learning opportunity. But with that is like a lot of letting go of, like I told you the other day, there was something we were discussing, I can't remember. And I'm like, listen, I just trust you. I want you to just lean into what, because I felt like you knew a little bit more about this than I did. And
I think it's YouTube channel, that and sponsorships.
Something like that. Yeah. And so it's just like putting your ego aside and be like, listen, I'm in a partnership for a reason, because there's strengths and weaknesses that complement each other here. And looking at this as, I want this thing to win no matter what. And I'm willing to resign my opinion or my thought here, or also to be able to push each other a little bit and fight for what you believe in. It's tricky. We're learning, aren't we? We didn't plan on this, Rich.
It's crazy. So I'll end with, she was talking about flexing our muscle, so to speak. Like, this is literally like hitting a PR at the gym, right? Like, this is literally like, holy shit, I've never benched that much before. And it also doesn't mean that that's as much as I'm going to bench ever. Okay. Like, I know this might end, and I know there might be days where we're sore and I'm like, damn, this isn't working out. But at least we have the experience already to see what it looks like and feel what it looks like. And it's because we showed up every day, and we're going to continue to do so. So obviously we'd love your support. If you want to check out the other podcasts, if you're interested in NFTs, crypto, how to set up a wallet, all these things, we were inspired by Gary Vee, and that's why we're doing this thing. But NFTs for Newbies is, you can find it anywhere podcasts are. We are on a fucking rocket ship right now. We'd love your support. And dude, we had this one piece of shit troll that I need to address. I won't address it, but here's what I'll say. Ratings and reviews actually matter, because that drowns out like that one dude who I think just had some, I have no idea. He was having a bad day.
The difference between me and Rich, I read it and I died laughing and was showing everybody in the room with me, cracking up, and then Rich is like, this guy sucks.
I was like, literally, like, if this were years ago, I'd be like, I need to look in the phone book and find this dude's address type thing. Like, I was so pissed. But anyway, ratings and reviews will help drown out people like that, and we just continue to get great feedback. So check us out at NFTs for Newbies. This is Heather Parady. Check her out. Heather, where can they find you? You, the individual?
Heather Parady, everywhere.
All right. And then you guys know where to find me. This is it. Hopefully you got some good insight onto how you can thrive when you least expect it, and how consistency can take on many forms. So definitely hit subscribe and ring the bell, so that way you get notified when future videos come out. Thank you guys so much. See you next time.